أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So we are starting with التدريبات, the exercises. And the first تدريب التدريب الأول. So we have ما أدوات التي في المطبخ. And ما, we understand ما is what, right? It's a question. What الأدوات. أدوات, remember we mentioned that it is a plural for أداة. It's plural for أداة. أداة. And which we said it can mean tools, appliances, devices. It means many things based on the context, right? So here the context is fil matbahi, in the kitchen. Okay, so in this situation it can mean appliances. Okay, so for example, if we say what are the appliances? What are the appliances? Allati. So allati is a relative pronoun. Okay, a relative pronoun that you can translate as that or which, and sometimes it can also mean whom. So for example, we have another types of pronoun which is demonstrative pronoun, which are, remember we studied هذا, okay, هذه. So we use this to point at something, right? And then the relative pronoun is الذي, الذي and التي. Is the same situation. Alladhi is for masculine and allati is for feminine. So the way the relative pronoun works is it will refer to something that precedes. For example, you're saying, I took the book which was on the table. Okay, so here, which is referring to what? It's referring to the book. So this is your relative pronoun. It's going back. And when you say hada and hadihi is something going forward. You know, it's a different way of looking at it. So for example, in hada and hadihi, you're looking at something in front of you. So we, just like demonstrative pronoun, we have few words for relative pronouns as well. Alladhi is for masculine and allati is for feminine. Just like hada is for masculine and hadihi is for feminine. Okay, so that's number one. And we also have relative pronouns for plural. Inshallah, we'll see them later. So here, few other things to note, that relative pronoun in Arabic, it's called al-ismul mawsul. Okay, al-ismul mawsul. It will come right after the noun that you are referring to. Okay, so for example here, the noun is al-adawatu, which is the tools or the devices or the appliance. So allati is coming right after al-adawat. So now it is extending the meaning, basically giving you more information about that noun. You understand? For example, if you just translate this part, mal adawatu, you can translate as what are the devices. Okay? Now, by saying allati, you're adding more information about the device. So you're saying allati fil madbahi, the devices that were or that are in the kitchen. You understand? Now, so how would you translate the whole thing here? You can say, what are the devices, or here it can be appliances actually. Appliances, which or that are in the kitchen. So now question can come, why are we using allati instead of alladhi? Remember we said that alladhi is for masculine and allati is for feminine. Can you guess the reason? Because al-adawatu, it is plural. Plural of what? Plural of objects. And this is our famous rule in Arabic language, that all the plural of objects, we treat them as a feminine word, a single feminine word. Okay, that's why we're saying allati. You understand? Now, Okay, so now the answer is في المطبخ ثلاجة وموقد كهربائي. In this book, they keep on using dhamma here, but honestly, it should be fatha, كهربائي, right? Now, okay, we have seen all of these words, right? That's you shouldn't have any problem translating this sentence. Okay, remember, it is an adjective, so you have to say electric stove. Now, the next one we have ما الأشياء التي في المدخل. It's it's quite the same structure as we had before. Only thing is changed is instead of saying al adawat, it's saying al ashya'u. So saying what are the things that are in the what is madkhal? Entrance. Okay, entrance. So again, we're using allati as a relative pronoun for al ashya'u. What are the things that are in the entrance? Now, and it says في المدخل بساط ومنضدة. So in the entrance, there is a carpet and a table. And we have ما الأشياء التي على الرف. Similar structure, right? You should be able to translate this thing right now, right? So you say, what are the things that are on the, what is raf? Rack. What are the things are on the rack? And you say, على الرف كتب ومجلات وجرائد. We had seen exactly same sentence before. Now, and now it says ما الأدوات التي في المطبخ. It's exactly the same sentence that we had done before here, right? Okay, so I think inshallah you should be able to translate the rest, right? So it says ما الحجرة التي على اليمين. What is the room that is on the right? What is the room that is on the right? على اليمين حجرة النوم. On the right is the bedroom. Okay, should be uh, easy for you to translate, inshallah. So you can do the rest. For التدريب الثاني, I think these exercises were for listening. Unfortunately, I don't have the resources about the listening part of this book, so it's probably something that you needed to hear and then find the right answer. So we don't have the audio, so we need to skip them now. And for التدريب الرابع, the fourth exercise, it says اقرأ, and these are your same listening exercise. Okay, ذل and ظل. Okay, so there's a difference between ذل and ظا. ذليل and ظليل. Okay, so again, you should practice them, both saying and hearing them. Now we have التدريب الخامس, the fifth exercise. Here they're talking about masculine and feminine. مذكر and مؤنث. مذكر is masculine. Okay, مؤنث is feminine. Remember we said that we can make an adjective into feminine simply by adding ta marbuta, right? Right? So for example, you have Jamil, and you can simply add ta marbuta and make it feminine. Jamila. All right? So you will use Jamil when you describe walad because that's a masculine. And you will use Jamila when you're describing bint, for example, because bint is feminine. So we've seen that we can pretty much do the same thing for every adjective. قريب قريبة, بعيد بعيدة, طويل طويلة, صغير صغيرة, كبير كبيرة. Now remember what I said, that usually you cannot do the same thing with noun. So what we said, that for noun, sometimes adding ta marbuta works, sometimes it doesn't work. So sometimes what would happen if you add ta marbuta, the word may not make any sense. It may not exist. And sometimes what may happen that when you add ta marbuta, it might become a new word. For example, we talked about maktab. Maktab is a desk or an office, and when you add ta marbuta, it becomes a library, right? And then we also mentioned that sometimes it works. Sometimes when you add ta marbuta, it works. And here they're showing you some of the nouns. When you add ta marbuta, it makes masculine into feminine. Okay, the first one we have mudarris. Mudarrisun is a teacher. How do you say a female teacher? When you say mudarris, it is very clear that you're talking about a male teacher. You cannot use mudarris for a female teacher. But then how do we say a female teacher? We simply add ta marbuta. Okay? And we have mudarrisatun. Mudarrisatun. Okay, remember the rule: when you add ta marbuta, the letter before the ta marbuta will always get fatha. Okay, that is a golden rule, meaning when you're adding ta marbuta, for example, when you add ta marbuta, this dhamma, the ending comes back to the ta marbuta and the letter before it gets fatha. Okay, that is how you add ta marbuta. Mudarrisun, mudarrisatun. Okay, mudifun, mudifatun. What is mudif? Mudif is host, and mudifa is hostess or stewardess. So mudifun is for masculine, mudifatun is for feminine. Marid is sick or ill person. Okay, sick. How do you refer to a female sick person or female patient? You say maridatun. Okay, ibnun is son. So what would happen if you add tamarbuta? It would be a daughter. Okay, so you have ibnatun. Ibnatun is a daughter. Okay, and both of them, it can mean son or boy. Okay, so in that context, it can mean also a girl. Now, Haris is a guard. Okay, harisatun, a female guard. Tabib is a doctor. Tabiba is a female doctor. You understand? So all of these words, you can add ta marbuta to make it into a feminine word. Now here they're showing you that you can do the same thing with animals. Usfur is a bird. Sparrow, how do you say this is the female sparrow? You say usfuratun. Kalb is a male dog. Kalbatun is a female dog. Qittun is a male cat. Qittatun is female cat. Okay, and so on and so forth. You understand? Now, but I'll warn you that this doesn't work all the time. Okay, with the noun, it doesn't work all the time. Okay, the one that usually will work is the one when you're talking about profession. For example, here we have mudarris is a teacher, mudif is a host. Okay, you have haris is a guard, tabib is a doctor. In this kind of words, it most likely will work. Okay, so when you add tamarbuta, you have a female version of that employee. All right, inshallah, you'll learn a lot more about this type of words. There's a special ruling about this kind of words, something that, when we study advanced grammar, we'll understand. But right now, this much is fine. Now, in the next tadrib, at tadrib al-sadis, the sixth exercise, we're still talking about mudhakkar and muannath. For example, here they're showing you the words that is mudhakkar, masculine, and adding ta marbuta is not going to work. These are the words, it's just as it is. Madbakhun, kub, kub is a glass or cup, right? Kitab, book, qalam, sur is a fence, right? Shari', street, hawd. You have seen all of these words before, right? They're just showing you these are the masculine words. And one way, remember what we said, one way to identify masculine and feminine, if the word doesn't have ta marbuta, most likely, like 99% of the time, it would be a masculine word. And here, when word has a ta marbuta, 99% of the time it would be a feminine word. Not all the time, but most of the time. Here we have arika. Arika is what? Sofa. Then we have zahriya. Remember the flower vase? Wisada, which is the pillow. Salla, rukhsa, license. We have seen all of these words before, right? So all of these words are what? Are feminine. Why? Because they have ta marbuta at the end. Okay, so you should be able to very comfortably identify the word that is masculine and the words that is feminine. Understand? I don't think they're showing you any relationship between these two lists. Not sure why they have a line in the middle, but nonetheless, you should understand, because remember here we saw that you can add ta marbuta to these words to make it into feminine, but here they're showing you these words you can't. Okay, now Jade, in the next exercise we have التدريب السابع, the seventh exercise. It says هذا هو, then you have blank and الذي. When you use this kind of structure, it is in the meaning of this is the that. For example, you are saying here, you can see the example, هذا هو الطبيب الذي في العيادة. So the translation would be, this is the doctor. This is the doctor that is in the clinic. عيادة is clinic, remember? Now, so when you want to say this is the doctor, then you have to say هذا هو الطبيب. Because if you say طبيب, if you say هذا طبيب, what does it mean? It's a sentence. We have the first one is definite, هذا, and the second one is indefinite. You're making a sentence. So you're saying this is a doctor, right? We have seen this kind of sentence before. We have talked about this kind of sentence before. And what happens when you say, you add alif lam, you say هذا الطبيب, that means this doctor. When you say هذا الطبيب, it means this doctor. So obviously it's not a sentence. So it is a phrase. It's incomplete. You have to finish what you're trying to say about this doctor. Then you might wonder, how do I say this is the doctor? You want to say this is the doctor, right? When we had indefinite, it worked. هذا طبيب. This is a doctor. So instead of saying a, I just want to say the. So by simply adding alif lam should work, but it doesn't. The meaning is different. When you say هذا الطبيب, it means this doctor. So how do you say this is the doctor? You have to say هذا هو الطبيب. هذا هو الطبيب. Okay, you have to bring the pronoun to make the break between هذا الطبيب. So you don't have this translation. Okay, so you have to say هذا هو الطبيب. For example, for feminine, how would you say هذه هي الطبيبة? Okay, so this is the female doctor. You understand? So that's what they're showing you here. When you say هذا هو الطبيب, for example here, it means this is the doctor. Now you want to say something about the doctor. You have to say something. So you say الذي. Now here الذي means what? الذي here means what? Who. Relative pronoun for objects would be that and which, and relative pronoun for human beings should be who, right? الذي here is referring to الطبيب. And why aren't we saying التي, the word that we had seen before? Because التي was for feminine. التي was for feminine words, and الذي is for masculine words. So that's why we have to say الذي, because we're referring to what? الطبيب, which is referring to what? هو, and which is referring to what? هذا. So all of these things has to match. Every single word here has to match with the gender. هذا هو الطبيب الذي. And you want to talk about feminine here, all of these pronouns you have to change. Here we have all three types of pronouns. You have demonstrative pronoun, okay? We have normal subject pronouns, and we also have relative pronouns. And all of these pronouns are referring to what? Of course, referring to the noun, which is at-tabib. So what happens when you want to say at-tabiba, female doctor? Guess what? Every single pronouns you have to change. So if you say at-tabiba, you have to change this one from hada to hadihi. You have to change from huwa to hiya. You have to change alladhi into allati. Okay, and that's exactly what's happening here. For example, now you want to say الطبيبة الطبيبة. See, everything is changed. هذه هي الطبيبة التي. Because all of these are pronouns. Every pronoun has to match the gender that it is referring to, which is al-tabiba here is feminine and al-tabib here is masculine. Okay, now, so then they give you a few examples here. This one says هذا هو الطبيب الذي في العيادة. So how would you translate this one here? You would say this is the doctor who is in the clinic. Okay, this is the doctor who is in the clinic. So who here is the alladhi, and here we have هذه هي الطبيبة التي في العيادة. It's the same exact sentence, but only difference is that here we're talking about female doctor. That's why we have to change every single pronouns. We have to change all of them. Okay, so let's see a few more examples. We have here, it says هذا هو المدرس الذي أمام السبورة. This is the teacher who is front of the board. هذا هو المدرس. If you don't have هو, you say هذا المدرس, then you say this teacher who is front of the board. Okay, so it is not a complete sentence. It seems like you're still talking about the teacher who is front of the board and you want to say something about that teacher because you're saying هذا المدرس, this teacher who is front of the board. You have to say something about what about this teacher. But when you add hua, you are completing that this is the teacher who is front of the board. Okay, so please pay attention to these differences. All right, and here we have هذه هي المدرسة التي, okay, أمام السبورة. Everything is same. Only difference is that we're trying to say this is the female teacher. That's why we have to say هذه هي التي. Okay, and all of them has the same thing. I'll just do one more here. هذا هو ابن الذي في البيت. He is the son who is in the house. And the female version would be هذه هي ابنة التي في البيت. This is the daughter who is in the house. Okay? And I'm sure inshallah we'll be seeing this type of sentence more.